Good afternoon. I hope everyone is doing well. I am sorry I had meant to be there in person, but I got COVID, so I have to do this remotely, but I'm doing all right. And we've heard lots of interesting and good, nice presentations on how to use REDCap. And so we'll switch gears a little bit and we'll talk about how to secure REDCap, and we call this how to secure my, if I can get my slides moving, how to secure my research or REDCap, because we have a service here at IU that you can use for basically any compliance or cybersecurity need. And so we'll talk about that. But before that, I'll introduce myself. My name is Anurag Shankar, and my colleague here, Will Drake, will be presenting. And both of us work at the Center for Applied Cybersecurity Research, which is an organization that reports to the Office of Vice President for IT. And let's get going. So we're going to talk about the service that actually can help you secure REDCap and other sorts of research cybersecurity needs. We'll talk specifically about securing REDCap, and then we'll conclude. So short presentation, hopefully there will be time for questions. So REDCap is basically a no-cost service that's funded by the Office of Vice President for Research. And the idea behind SecureMyResearch is essentially to reduce or eliminate your cybersecurity and compliance burden. So basically you come to us and we take care of that. It is delivered by CSCR, as I mentioned, but it's in collaboration with Research Technologies, which provides the REDCap service, and also then the Information Security Division within OVPIT, and many campus partners, a list of which is given down there. We say it takes a village to do research cybersecurity at IU, and so pretty much everyone that you can think of is involved in one way or the other. There are three components to the service. One is the self-service component. The second is a consulting component, and the third one is what we call advocacy. The self-service component basically is what we call the SecureMyResearch Cookbook. It's essentially a knowledge base of what we call recipes, and these are recipes to the kinds of things you might want to get done. So I'll show you a quick demo of it. Basically, you go to this cookbook, which is go.iu.edu/cookbook, and you type in some keyword, and what returns is what we call use cases, the sorts of things you might want to do like now. And when you click on it, you can basically get a list of steps that if you followed, you basically get security and compliance kind of by default. And you will see recipes in there. For example, if I type survey, you will see REDCap's recipes in there. And so this is a mechanism whereby you can get answers to your questions. And there's quite a few recipes in there. If you want to go take a look at all the 100 or so recipes, and you can sort of see the kinds of things you can get the information on. So please go there and use it, and also provide feedback on anything that's commonly used that deserves to be in there. With that, I will pass it on to my colleague here, Will Drake.
So in addition to the self-service, we understand that a lot of you just really want to talk to a person. So that's absolutely something we offer. So we do offer one-on-one help with basically any research, cybersecurity, or compliance issue you can think of. All you have to do to take advantage of that is simply, like we always say, just email SecureMyResearch@iu.edu, and we'll take care of you. Next slide. So what can SecureMyResearch help you with? in effect. If it seems like it's cybersecurity or compliance related, bring those issues to us, and like I said, we'll take care of you. Specifically, the things we can help with, we can offer assistance throughout your entire research lifecycle, even starting off early with your grants, contracts, and DUAs. We can look at those for you either before they're signed or once they're in place, and help you understand the cybersecurity terms and conditions in that. And we can identify essentially solutions that meet your requirements. And then we can also work with Aura. If some of those terms are unreasonable for the scope of your research, we can help you negotiate those with the with the provider. We also provide a full range of regulatory compliance. We've got a lot of expertise in a lot of compliance regimes that impact research, and we can help you with whatever questions you have regarding those as well. Next slide, please. Speak a bit slower. Apparently there's reverb in the room. So SecureMyResearch, what we can do regarding your research projects, we can get engaged from your project from the get-go. Like I said, even if this is in the earliest stages of you kind of negotiating terms in your contracts, we can help with that. Even if your project is up and running already, if you just got questions about, or if you got concerns, wanting somebody to come in and look at the security practices in your research project, we'd be happy to do that. We can take a look at your existing workflows and the challenges you have with those, and we can kind of work security into those. We're not coming in trying to get you to use entirely new stuff. We can absolutely help you do that if it makes the most sense, but we can also help you make your existing workflows secure. And also, we want to be your partner. So we like to stay engaged throughout the entire lifetime of a single research project. And again, engage with those same researchers on future projects as well. So the last service we provide is advocacy. And this is kind of just a catch-all. If there are procedures, policies, practices that you feel are slowing your research down, we can bring those concerns forward to the proper stakeholders, to advocate for proper change. Also, if there's just something, challenges you face that you feel are not well addressed at Indiana University, we help come up with solutions for those as well. And one of the things we provide as a most valuable service to researchers is that we serve as a one-stop shop. So regardless of what your problem is, if it's cybersecurity or compliance related for research, you bring it to us. Like I said, we will take care of you. We will bring in all the proper people it takes to solve your problem and do it efficiently, because our ultimate goal is this. And as you can see, the word security is not in this ultimate goal, because we are not coming in just to lock down your research project. We're here to appropriately apply security, specifically in a way that it accelerates your research, enhances your research efficiency, trustworthiness, and repeatability. So to use SecureMyResearch, you can try going to the self-help first at go.iu.edu/cookbook. That is the cookbook that Anurag showed earlier. To take advantage of our one-on-one consulting, you can go to SecureMyResearch@iu.edu. And if you want to learn more about the service, our website is SecureMyResearch.iu.edu.
So, so that's kind of the service. And again, just the one word you need to remember is SecureMyResearch@iu.edu, and we'll sort of take care of you. Just a few things about securing REDCap itself. Essentially, a lot of REDCap security has to do with following the minimum necessary principle. Most of you work with HIPAA, are familiar with that term. And what that means to us, actually, this applies to security in general. Minimize number of people with access, minimize the time and volume of data that you're exposing or sharing, minimize the duration of storage, so retention types of requirements, If there are none, then keep the data there for only as long as necessary. And last but not least, reduce risk by de-identifying the data where it's possible. REDCap provides a number of functionalities to do that, especially for access control. Users can limit both functionality and modules within their projects at fairly granular level. You can control the ability to export data for people that you share with, enter data, add modified fields, survey questions, and privileges and that sort of stuff. There's also a mechanism called data access groups, which you can use, which basically helps segregate users who and the data that they enter. Basically, you put them in these groups, and they are then able only to access records created by someone in the group. And this could be good for like multi-institutional projects where the data entered by one institution should not be accessible or viewable by others. Also, if you're using tokens, some people use tokens to programmatically access REDCap, then you also need to make sure that the location where you're storing those tokens, because essentially those tokens are like passwords. Also, the export tool is available, and if you do that, you can de-identify during export. And again, you can remove various fields and dates and that sort of stuff. You can check the logging module. This is something people don't think about. You have access to the logging modules. You can see exactly what's been happening. And this is something that's used to do. There's the idea of continuous monitoring in security, and that is to go and take a look and make sure that the right kinds of things are happening. People are not doing things that you don't want them to do. So this is something that is good to do once in a while, or you can have a policy where this is done, for example, monthly. And then finally, especially if you're dealing with protected health information, then you really need to worry about the entire workflow, and that is the data before you import it into REDCap and after you export it, if it has identifiable data in there, and that's what we call about protecting or securing entire workflows, and that's something that we can help you with. So with that, we can talk about a few examples of engagements that we've had involving REDCap. The first one is secure study participant onboarding, and Will can tell you about that.
Yeah, so that one was brought to us, essentially a group that had very busy study coordinators who wanted to see if they could use Microsoft bookings to allow participants to schedule their own appointments. We helped them design a workflow to get that working, and they also expressed a need for or like a wish that it would be great if participants could kind of onboard themselves using a REDCap survey. So we worked with the REDCap team and that study team to essentially design a system where participants could follow a REDCap survey, go through all of the inclusion and exclusion criteria. If they made it to the end, they would be given a generated study participant ID, which they could then take back to that Microsoft bookings page to schedule their own onboarding appointments. So just a quick example of how, again, we're not only here for security, we're here to listen to your challenges and make workflows that work for you.
The other couple ones that we have here, excuse me, secure ETL. This is a situation where some users were doing some ETL on a server, and so we wanted to make sure that that process was secure. So we work with them, basically to look at the entire workflow, what was happening on that server, and what security existed and that sort of stuff, and made sure that the right controls were in place. And same sort of thing with tokens. When a token was being stored on a workstation, and we worked with the user to ensure that the workstation was secure. All the workflows were secure, the way that people were accessing that workstation and so forth. So basically any kind of workflow that involves REDCap, we can help you with that. And one promise we will make is if you email SecureMyResearch, we can, you will get instant response, and we will be with you, and some of you I see have used us, and hopefully have had that experience. So with that, I'm going to put the last slide. Will.
With the conclusion slide, I just want to say we essentially want you to feel like we are part of your team. We're not here to be the cyber police and report you to the authorities. We're here to help. So we want you to feel like essentially we are your research group's security people. You get a question that you don't quite understand, you say, let me throw this to my security folks, and you just send that over to us and we help you with it.
Right, and I think that's the end. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough time for questions, so just email us at SecureMyResearch@iu.edu, and we'll basically get with you and talk to you about any issues you might have. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.